Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosensia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosensia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. And coming soon to a radio station or a syndicated station near you. Make sure you take the Mike Wagner Show with you on a mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia for great books like Missing, Once, Wrinkles, and also cool merchandise like t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia. Don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. And coming soon to Hamilton Radio, make sure you tune in and get more information as well. We're here with a terrific lady who is an accomplished singer, actress, TV host, and author of a brand new book, Diamonds Are for Cocktails. We'll talk more about that. And she was born in Manila, now living in Los Angeles. We'll talk about her journey. She debuted with the Goo Goo Dolls and starred as a TV host is Be In Tune TV, featuring such amazing guests like Led Zeppelin, Clint Eastwood, Coldplay, and more. She also served as a co-chairman in honor of the 35th Annual Philadelphia Film Fest and won numerous awards in the industry. Also co-founder of Be In Tune Cares, and she's got the new book helping to shake up the entertainment industry, and yet maybe shaken, but not started. It's Diamonds for Cocktails. We'll talk about that. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, the amazingly multi-talented, accomplished singer, actress, TV host, and author of Diamonds Are for Cocktails and more. Ladies and gentlemen, the very multi-talented Zarah. Zarah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
All of the above. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. When I saw the title Diamonds Are for Cocktails, I wasn't sure it was going to be about James Bond, you, or anything else. Of course, you know, it is designed to shake in the entertainment industry, but stirred, I guess that'd be for another question, another time. You're an accomplished singer, actress, TV host, and author. You're born in the Philippines. You're now living in Los Angeles. You debuted with the Goo Goo Dolls. You served as TV host of Be In Tune TV. You had Led Zeppelin, Clint Eastwood, Coldplay, and Cuba Gooding Jr. as guests. You served as co-chairman of the 35th Annual Philadelphia Film Fest and won numerous awards in the industry. You're involved in the Grammy Foundation. You're the co-founder of Be In Tune Cares, and your new book helped shake up the entertainment industry set in the French Riviera, about a diamond era's having it all, or is it? We'll talk about a twist in it. And before we talk about the book and everything else, Zarah, tell us how you first got started.
First got started with a career, you mean?
Yes.
Or the book. Okay, got it.
Let's start with your career first. So go on the Wayback Machine, Sherman, Wayback Machine.
I'll go as far back as I will remember. Well, I've been a singer all my life growing up, and I've always loved it. And I wrote my first song as a songwriter when I was 14. And started with a band. So the musicianship in me, was there right from the get-go. So I started with that. When I came to Los Angeles, when my family moved to Los Angeles, I started training with top coaches for vocalists like Seth Riggs, very well known in Hollywood, trained as an actress with Aaron Spicer, another famous vocal actor coach. And so I opened up for the Goo Goo Dolls before you know it. So I toured, I opened up for their concert across the country and did that for a little bit. And after that, I had an opportunity that was presented to me because we were also in the beginning working with different types of producers and team when we started this Be in Tune TV show. And they thought that it was a perfect platform or next steps for me to do as a musician, to host a national television show. And so having that as a background enabled me to be more diverse in terms of my knowledge in the industry, as well as develop my skills, not only, performing as a musician, but now performing in front of a national syndicated television show that went on to, to have 130, went up to 130 markets in the US alone. And that was quite successful. So we were quite happy with that, because not only we're educating kids, teen kids, we're also informing them. And we have the who's who of the Hollywood, as you mentioned before, tons of celebrities in their roster. And, kids loved us because it's a popular culture to them, and they identified with their, idols and whatnot. Parents love us because we're the good guys. We're the PBS/MTV. So it was a really, really good ride for 8 seasons. And, at that point, I became the executive producer as well. And so the television producing side came about naturally too, as we were progressing with our shows. So I've learned a lot. It was great. And then after that, it was natural for me to just go on to develop the producing side with my husband. My husband was a Grammy Foundation CEO, former CEO, and he worked with the Kennedy family for almost 20 years. Wow. Prior to that. Worked with a couple of past presidents for the 200th anniversary of the White House, hired by former President George Bush Sr., as well as Bill Clinton. And so we worked together a lot. Unfortunately, he had passed the last year and a half. And so I sort of we were in a transition of producing films, and he suddenly passed. So I'm left sort of carrying the bag. He was supposed to work the movie project, with me, but unfortunately that's what life sometimes brings you. But here I am. When we were traveling a whole lot and meeting, of course, a whole lot of people, make long story short, we were living in the French Riviera, and somehow I totally fell in love with it. And that was the greatest spark I have, encountered in my travel so far. And hence it had, I had this movie concept about it. And it turned into suddenly, well, what if we, make it into a full-blown novel? And I started, I took up the challenge. I never thought and never saw myself as as an author one day, even though shockingly, I wasn't one of those, kids who loved reading and writing in the beginning of my childhood. And what do you know? I grew up to have my career, number one, as a songwriter. And you have to write, obviously lyrics from there. And then I became a contributing writer to my television show. So I also became a writer there. And from that point on, that kind of, just, carried over of me being an author. And, that just, again, goes to show you that you put your mind into something. I mean, anything is really possible. Sounds like a cliche, but it really is true, because I can't begin to tell you, Mike, how dreadful it was for me to write. And I remember just, man, I was dying every day to just write and write, but I knew I have to do it religiously and have a discipline of a soldier, because I knew I had to get it done. There was no question about it. So here I go. One day, finished the book, and I also wrote the screenplay along with it. So it's almost like a simultaneous or overlapping projects.
Wow, you really took on a big project, and it sounds amazing. I'm very happy for it, Zarah. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
My passion for creativity. It really depends on, what point in time as well you are in your life. And in my book, for instance, right, it happened to be the French Riviera because I happened to be living there, and I happened to, struck something within me that enabled me to get my creativity flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, of course, the memories of my late husband, because a lot of this are snapshots of my travels with him written in the book. So his memories, really lives on in this book, which I'm dedicating, by the way, this book to him.
Oh, that's so amazing. And what was that one precise element that simply just triggered it? Like, say, was it the wire, the boats, or say like, like the weather, trees, anything like that? Maybe like a certain food or anything? What was that one element that simply triggered that made you fall in love with the French Riviera?
It's really the beauty and elegance of that place. You start from there, everything else falls in, including the surroundings. It has its, natural beauty again, and elegance, and the lifestyle of the rich and famous really it never gets old to people. It's just whether you're doing a television show or about that, people are always interested for some reason. I mean, something about that eye candy, man. I could never forget. Remember that lifestyle, rich and famous,
Oh yeah. Oh God. Who was the host of it? Robin Leach. That was it. I was asked that same question on an earlier interview. It's like, who is that guy? And all of a sudden I drew a blank, which is like an ultimate sin for talk show hosts. You draw a blank. And that was like not the only time it happened. All of a sudden, like Robin Leach, like that was the name of it. I talked about this earlier. Now I got to put this in my brain, literally. Robin Leach. Oh no, why?
Right. Exactly. And in fact, there's many of those, people and that kind of lifestyle who really, come from all over the world to really relish, what French Riviera has to offer. And in our case, we also had an overlapping business projects. We were trying to deal with Prince Albert, as well, and his, and his partners. We were also dealing with the late Sir Roger Moore and his family. So there were a lot of reasonings as to why, it really inspired me, and really, I made it a thing. I mean, I just don't want to forget that, memory. And it was special to me. I mean, I've traveled a lot around the world, but there's nothing like this experience that I've experienced in here. It is indeed our favorite place on earth, my husband and I. So, I'm forever beholden to this place in so many ways that I even wrote a book. And not only it's a book, it's actually it's actually a series. So I'm on my way to finishing the second book, actually.
Oh, that's so amazing. We'll talk about your book, Diamonds Are for Cocktails, which is meant to have shaken up the entertainment industry, but not stir it up or anything. We'll talk more about that along with your amazing career. But first, to listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-wearing author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter, and coming soon to Hamilton Radio. We'll get you more information on that. Also, don't forget to support The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. You can also check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise, themikewagnershow.com, and also on Amazon as well. And for great merchandise, just check out Mia Molson-Zia Amazon for great books like merchandising, books, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Make sure you check it out today. We're here with a terrific lady who's an accomplished singer, actress, TV host, author, born in Manila and now in Los Angeles here on the Mike Wagner Show. We're talking about the book Diamonds Are for Cocktails. She also debuted with the Goo Goo Dolls and served as TV host as Be In Tune TV. And before we get to more about your book and traveling to a French area, tell us about your travels early on from Manila over to Los Angeles. What's it like?
It wasn't so much of an adjustment, to be honest with you. The family and I were very much looking forward to be living here, and there wasn't any culture. What do you call that? Culture shock.
Culture shock, yes.
Yeah, expression that they always use. I mean, growing up and even really in my earlier days, I mean, I was sent to a private school. We spoke English, and there was always this pressure of wanting to get it right. We were fans of American movies, so it's it wasn't, and certainly listened to rock and roll during during my days, and I just felt right at home. I mean, I honestly love this country. I could kiss the ground I was walking on when I first got here. I love that. I was so looking forward to it already. I mean, I just knew that it was a dreamland, and sure enough, bit by bit, I managed to make my dreams come true bit by bit with everything that I do, and I keep on branching on, and there are things that you are so focus on that it's exactly what you wanted to do, and you go get it, and you're lucky enough to get it. And there are times that you never see it coming, such as this, me being an author, and hey, I'm open to it. It's like life, you just gotta welcome it with open arms, and I mean, I who would have thought I never thought of this. If growing up, if you would have asked me, you're going to be, one of the professions you're going to be doing when you're grown up, is going to be an author. And I would laugh at you. I mean, I literally would laugh at you because I would not. I mean, come on, give me everything else, but not that. It's like, oh my gosh. But I cannot believe it. It's really all about that dream, the perseverance of your dream, the hard work you put in, the perpetual belief. It really is a huge part, and the driving motivation. When my husband passed, this tragic thing that took place that I didn't see coming in my life, I really felt like I got a rebirth. My dreams and my desires suddenly got refueled. Like I've never felt such burning desire inside of my tummy that it really supersedes even when I was a little girl, in a small town, trying to dream of, making it wherever I'm going to end up, one day in life. It's amazing what things in life can do to you, because just when you think you're the weakest, you're actually the strongest. So I really attribute that to a lot of those, and that's why I keep on and reaching out for the stars.
And of course, that's very amazing as well, too. And of course, speaking about reaching for the stars, working with the stars, and playing with the stars, and everything else. What are some of the differences in the entertainment culture between Manila and Los Angeles for you?
Well, I still am in touch with, especially later stage of my life, with some of the celebrities there. I mean, because of the internet world and how powerful it is, and even things such as podcasts, how powerful it is anymore, these days, it's accessible to, a lot of things, and it blends into a lot of cultures and all that kind of stuff. But there is still, obviously a great deal of difference. I feel that the industry back there still looks up to the Hollywood in here, just like everywhere else in the world, I guess, in any other countries. I mean, it still, takes precedence when it comes to films, television, and everything else. I mean, the originality and the work and the craftsmanship that goes into it. I mean, there's nothing like Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. And of course, do you feel the same way the entertainment in Manila is getting up there in Los Angeles, or is it still making progress?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, it is making progress, but at the same time, it has made, it's come a long way. Again, it's a lot easier now to be able to, step into and blend into the industry in here. And I'll give you an example. I think same thing with a movie with this New York Times bestseller, Crazy Rich Asians, from the book to the movie kind of thing. I think it was a lot easier for them to be able to enter into the casting world. I think there's some Filipino actresses in there that also had that was also part of the movie. I mean, it really made this casting thing and being able to access what's going on out there in terms of projects accessible to
Mm-hmm.
that.
And also, too, when it comes to the TV show you're in, Be in Tune TV, which would air in over 130 countries, when you were in Manila as well, too, and also Los Angeles, what countries did you feel that the program was the strongest, and how were you received in the Philippines and also in the United States? I mean, you can make those comparisons.
Well, I think it was mainly, it was just syndicated internationally in Asia, China and all those usual suspects, but it was really the 130 markets that really, in the US markets, that made that show, because we started with 60 million right off the gates. We were in partners with the CBS television group and obviously its affiliates, and those were our partners right from the beginning, and they love the concept, and they kept on renewing us. And the thing about edutainment programming, educational and informational, that is, it's evergreen content. You don't, when I interview stars like, the Jesse McCartneys of the world, or whoever is the hot, pop star, I never would ask them, tabloid stuff or anything of nature, or say who's your latest girlfriend or things like those.
Mhm.
It's always about who influenced you, for instance, to become, a singer. Well, it was my music teacher. It was my, mom. It was my, so those kind of content and evergreen, content and, questioning we would have in our show. So from 60 million markets, it just kept on climbing up and climbing up, and up until we reached 130 million markets. So it was really the US first that really
Mhm.
made
It sounds like a lot of the variety shows, they've had in the past as well, too, like with Ed Sullivan, Dick Cavett, and the also venture someone American Bandstand more and everything else. What are some of your TV shows you remember watching growing up?
Oh gosh. Well, back to your back to your um I was going to say it's not a TV show. It's it's a franchise movie business. James Bond is always a must there. But the television shows, I mean, we had, Little House on Prairie and those kind of, common, shows that wholesome of family centric kind of
Mhm.
shows. And those are what I really remember mostly, growing up, that my mom or parents
Hmm.
feed at us.
Interesting. Yes. And who are some of your favorite singers, songwriters, actors, and musicians and celebrities growing up?
Oh gosh. Well, growing up, I was so into the new wave thing and the rock and roll part of it. I'm an old soul, I have to admit. I even go way back. I'm a huge fan of the Led Zeppelins of the world, the Who, all those guys.
Mhm.
I for some reason I am the same way with the movies. I go back with the classic ones, anything to everything from the 20s, 30s, particularly 40s and 50s. You ask me, I've probably watched them all. So that really where I, weigh heavy in terms of my favorites
Mhm.
in entertainment.
Interesting. And of course, you talked about Led Zeppelin being your favorites. And who knew Led Zeppelin would have been on your show being Toon TV? Who would have knew?
Right, exactly. We were actually in partners with Universal Records. And so what happened is that a lot of times they would either book this, including Warner Brothers, who also was one of our partners. They would give us their latest, video, whomever they're promoting at the moment, because not only that, they're promoting it anyway, and it helps them, and they like the fact that it's educational stuff for us. So they would just give it to us for free, and then they're more than happy to feed it to us. But speaking of Zeppelin, actually, I did it as a sort of a collection of memory. I remember doing the show collection of memory for the Led Zeppelin. It was done around the time that they did the reunion, as a matter of fact, and we were invited by Bill Kerbishley, Robert Plant's manager. So
Nice.
I was actually one of the very few lucky ones who actually had witnessed them in their reunion concert, and it was amazing. Is just one word for it.
I,
Amazing. Everybody was clamoring to get there, and we were there with a great seat. And I don't even, I was just shocked. It was just so beautiful. I mean, I could never forget it. So to be able to see your favorite band, in a one night show, they got together, just for, their manager, Armin, and never to be seen again, no
Mhm.
matter what happened. So I was very lucky, and that too is one of my memorable moments in my life.
I was going to say you should include in your book as well, too. Of course, this book shakes the entertainment industry as well, too. And they'll talk about the book, Diamond for Cocktails, and how's this shake up the industry? We'll find out just when men involving a diamond heiress. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the amazing singer, actress, TV host, and author of the book, Diamonds Are for Cocktails, Zarah, after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with the amazing, multi-talented Zarah, the author of Diamonds Are for Cocktails, here on the Mike Wagner Show. She's an accomplished singer, actress, TV host, author, and more. And let's talk about your book, Diamonds for Cocktails, designed to shake up the entertainment industry, and a possible movie as well, too, in the works. But first, let's talk about your book as well, too. What inspired you to write Diamonds Are for Cocktails, and what is it actually all about besides being involved with the diamond heiress?
Yes, indeed. Well, diamonds, let's start with the title. Diamonds Are for Cocktails is a symbolic title, and you're right, it is about a diamond heiress living in the French Riviera who actually struggles to find meaning in life. And she has this childhood best friend named James Hughes. And together they sort of comfort each other, but it's more like coming from her best friend, offering solace and fortitude for her needs. And somehow along the way, strange things happen. People start disappearing left and right. Nonetheless, these two are living the life. They become a celebrated couple in high societies, and they're always, for the most part, present in a lot of this black tie events. Talking about the French Riviera, I mean, everything's done in elegance and glamorous way, and you talk about the millionaires and the billionaires of the world, that's their world. And so somehow she reinvents herself and becomes this new persona, but she's highly entertaining, and she's very, very creative, and she, just when you think that she's predictable, she's actually not. She will really surprise you, because we're talking about a deeply complex woman, and yet who has a real story to tell.
That's really interesting. And what made you wanting to start write the book?
It is my unequivocal love for the French Riviera, of course. But I also wrote it at a time when I was experiencing this with my late husband. So, of course, that is part of the reason. But I am also a storyteller. I love creating, stories, and that's something that I always wanted to do, even though I didn't aspire to be an author. I always say, like, if ever I even get there, I'm never going to write anything that would not entertain me. That would make me say, hey, I would want to know what's the next thing that's going to happen. I don't want to be bored. And I certainly, if I am not satisfied with it, if I am not, happy with it, I'm not going to write it. I'm not going to write it. So I just thought it was like, it was a moment of truth that I say to myself, if you're going to do this, then make sure that you're going to love it, as in you yourself. Never mind about the rest of the, audience, the potential audience or readers you're going to have there. You got to do it for you. And so that really propelled me to, drive myself to do it. But to this day, I mean, I turn the page and somehow, some way along the way, I smile and sometimes I laugh. I mean, she has this mordant sense of humor about her. This is not your typical, by the way, thriller where, you have a traditional writer such as, John Grisham or Thomas Harris. That ain't me. I did it on purpose. And starting with really, picking woman as the lead, which because I was looking for a deeply complex character, and I thought that it was appropriate to start with her.
And what made you choose about a Diamond Harris having a deep, complex character?
It wasn't something, when you write a story, in my experience, a lot of it are not planned. I think it is the essence of creativity. I think it evolves. You start with few pieces. You start with an inspiration. And then you have this thing called the character development. And as a producer, that's where my experience kicks in. Like, you really got to hone that craft and develop that character. What will be better? Now you have the French Riviera. You can work with the surroundings. It's all gorgeous, beautiful, elegant, glamorous. Okay, so what is the best thing to put in there in this picture? That's kind of like how I think. Voila, next thing you know, well, how about a diamond heiress? She's got to be rich. She's got to be interesting. She's got to be smart. She's got to be beautiful. Things that really would stand out. And she is a memorable character, because what happened was she actually wind up being similar to a character of Norma Desmond from Sunset Boulevard. The funny thing is that I have not seen that movie, and I've already written. Shocked, like, oh my goodness, there is actually one that is similar to her character and actually was successful. I was like shocked. It was just, I never follow the rules. I never, say, hey, you gotta, build a certain character and just kind of follow these guidelines. I never did that. I just let go and just let your creativity. What do you think is gonna work? And that's what I did. That's what I followed. And I was really, really pleased to know that there's someone out there who was similar to her. So the story is really a combination of it's a mix between Sunset Boulevard to The Other Side of Midnight by Sidney Sheldon.
That's really interesting. I was thinking more of a basketball player with a chihuahua as my character. So
that can work too.
Oh, anything is possible in the book, I'll tell you. And what was the easiest and most difficult parts when it comes to writing the book?
Well, I got to tell you, there's nothing easy about writing a book. I got to be honest. And I think it was all hard. The process that I went through, like I said, you're talking about a person who, never had the love and passion for, reading and writing, even though, I did. I'm a better reader and writer now. I'd like to think that these days. But, you have that first and foremost to get over with. You've got to be able to convince yourself that, hey, you're going to have to go surpass this, no matter how dreadful it is. And like I said, I remember dying every page I wrote. It didn't matter. I had to write like a disciplined soldier. I was bleeding. I was, oh my God, I was crying. What is this? And then the other part of myself say, hey, you wanted it, go pay the price, So it is a product of hard work and perseverance, and that I have really shaped myself up into a whole different writer, producer, editor, from that standpoint to from where I first started. So yes, nothing was easy. Every step of the way really was a challenge, and I never stopped learning. And the trouble about this kind of things is that you always see, you still find errors to it, even when things are already done. So that's why my business side kicks in, and you got to walk away. This could be like a 20-year project, and we'll never get it out there. So
Do you think there is a correlation between creativity and business? I mean, you brought up a really good point. Is there a correlation? How does it correlate?
yes, I absolutely, I do think so. Even though, creativity, has this limitless nature of it when it comes to its process. And of course, business, on the contrary, business is more disciplined and more realistic. I do think they correlate, because especially the entertainment industry, because when you write a product and then when you get serious out there, there's an army of people who's going to represent you, from the agents to this and that. You write a movie, there's going to be movie studio heads. They want to make money. So to me, I don't think that's realistic to just like create something and then, you want to share that to the world and you can't put it out there. You've got to put it out there. That's why it's called showbiz.
Exactly. Yeah. And what do you want the readers to come away after they're done with the book?
That not all glitters are gold, just like Shakespeare says, that not everything can be bought by money, and that beyond this glamorous thriller, crime thriller that I wrote, enters a very real, person who's just deeply hurt and just wanted to be loved. And that there's a human interest story to it, because again, it's not all about the money. You talk about one of the most beloved individuals, my character that is, and yet she struggles all her life to just be loved and looks for that the whole entire time. And a deeply broken woman. And at the same time, there's so many depths, in her personalities, again, that just when you think that she is predictable, she's not.
And where can we find the book at?
Well, it's going to be out this summer, June 28th, and it will be available in all onlines you can think of, the usual giants, Amazons, and the Googles of the world, and hopefully the Barnes and Nobles as well. It's also going to be globally distributed. So talk about Philippines and all those guys. It will be eventually available there. So we're all working on it, and we're working on the Diamonds are for Cocktails VIP tour. There's a 5-city tour that we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be talking about it. This is the way I'm talking to you about it, and it's endless to me. I can talk about it for hours about this story. I am dying for the whole world to know about who this Camille Rogers, this Diamond Heiress is about.
Yes, I'm ready for Cocktails and Diamonds.
Amen.
I'm booking my trip to the French Riviera right now as we speak. We're here with author, accomplished singer, actress, TV host, Zarah, here on the Mike Wagner Show at Diamonds Are for Cocktails. You've been absolutely amazing. And just a few more things. What else can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond, Zarah?
Well, right now I'm actually, like I said, simultaneously, although we are in a very early stages of producing and trying to make this movie. And so I'm actually working, with my finance group right now overseas. And I just think that at this point, there's so much that we're ramping up with this publicity and marketing campaign to try to, launch this book, and the focus is there. And so to me, it's only right to do that first or as well, start with a movie, which I've done. So it looks to me that there's no doubt that the film producing side is coming.
We're certainly looking forward to it, and you've got a great thing coming. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Well, I mean, the biggest influence, I mean, it's so funny because there's sections of my career that, when I look back, I feel like it's been, far back when it comes to the music. I mean, I've named you the Zeppelins of the world, but fast forward to this book, being an author, it's really Sidney Sheldon, that Other Side of Midnight book that was given to me early on by a friend blew my mind. It completely changed my mind, and somehow I thought it left my brains, but it apparently has been sitting in the back of my brains, several years later, because here I am, never aspiring to be again, a writer, and yet the Sidney Sheldon, man, I just somehow I could, I said, I know this is pretty ambitious to say this, but if I'm going to be a writer, I really aspire to be like him, because he's a master storyteller. So yes, it really was him. He's actually one of the main reasons why I became a writer.
Wow, that's interesting. And I'm sure Sydney's up for a challenge as well, too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Well, I would have to say that, for the starters out there, it's really three things. I think that one has to have, number one, a burning desire and passion to start with, because if you don't, you're really not going to last. There's a lot of hard work and perseverance and commitment that goes on to this, that quitting early is really not an option. In my case, failing was not an option. So I knew that I really have to get my head straight and my commitment right off the bat taken care of in the beginning. And then you have to, hone your talents to be able to weather the storm and stand on your unshakable ground when you land. And of course, you have to have the knowledge and hopefully the experience to navigate yourself in the business. I think that's important. And there's a lot of ways to get there. You may get there sooner, you may get there faster, which is, a rarity, but it does happen. And it's like a puzzle that you have to figure out, on your own, while discovering things along the way until you get there. If you're meant to get there, it's like a journey if you must. But lastly, I want to say that I think it's important to find that constant motivation for yourself, to never forget why you're doing it in the first place, to remind yourself. I mean, is it the love for the industry, your desire, your ego, whatever, right or wrong, reasons. I think people have had their ways into staying in the business, and I think that's important. In my case, I've had the worst happen to me because of the sudden passing of my husband that refueled my desire. But no matter what people think of you, your plans, which is why I pursued the book. When once upon a time, realistically, I didn't think I was able to, but hey, my rock and roll side says I really don't care. And so the French Riviera, in French, they'll say, je m'en fiche, which means I don't care.
Je m'en fiche. I'm going to have to remember that from now on. Je m'en fiche.
And of course, lots of prayers in my experience truly helps.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I have to learn some French and to get with you on that in Riviera. So once again, we're with author, singer, accomplished singer, actress, TV host, Zarah on the Mike Wagner Show with Diamonds Are for Cocktails. Zarah, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your book or check out your works?
Thank you. Yes, you absolutely can check me out with starting with my website, which is thezarah.com. That's THEZARAH.com. And then, of course, all my social media channels, which is starting from the Facebook. It's my handle is at the author Zarah, pardon me. That's the Facebook. The Instagram is author Zarah. And Twitter is Zarah Rocks.
Okay. All right. Well, certainly we'll do that. We'll check you out. Once again, Zarah, very big thank you for your time. You've been totally amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best, and you've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. It was a pleasure.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.